Yeah, no, you haven't got it. I've practiced this. You ready?
I've been practicing, but... That was ridiculously good. What? That sounded exactly like a V6. Do the 458.
Okay. Yeah. 458. All right, ready?
James, that's it. How did you learn to do that? Seriously. Okay. Do an LFA.
Oh God, you're really testing me now. I don't know if it's in my repertoire. I guess I'll find out.
Okay. Wait a second, who is this? Oh, what is this?
I don't know who that is. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, whatever.
I was doing, no, that was me.
Was it you now? Go ahead, do the LFA sound again right now while I'm watching and he's not making any noises. Let's see, what you got? I'm Thomas.
And I'm James. And that is the Ferrari 296 GTB. And it's a lot more important than you might think.
When you hear V6, hybrid, entry-level, this car immediately comes off as Ferrari's attempt to get with the times, and it seems diluted.
Because at first glance, the 296 is just like another hybrid thingy, and we normally associate that with three crimes: being overweight, being overcomplicated, and being overpriced. And barring the hypercar holy trinity, the newest sports car on the block, being a hybrid, is normally met with, yeah, thanks. I'm just gonna stick to my insert car here.
Crime number one, being overweight. The jury finds the Ferrari not guilty. 3,200 pounds dry weight. That's light. That's hundreds of pounds lighter than an Acura NSX Type S. That's about the same weight as a V6 Lotus Emira. That car's not even a hybrid, and it's a Lotus. But what about being too overcomplicated? Okay, you see, this car is unbelievably complex. It starts with a 120-degree V6 engine, inside of which is a nitrided steel crankshaft, which is there to help offset the inherent weird balance of a V6 engine and lower the overall weight. And then inside the engine are two turbochargers, which spin to 180,000 RPM and spool faster and are lighter than the ones you get in the V8. And then underneath that is an electric motor with its own battery. And all of this is governed by a transition manager actuator, which is there to decouple the engine from the electric motor and start and stop the engine when needed. Now, everything I just told you there probably makes you think there's no way that this could be a pure sports car experience. But I put this to you. This is a vintage wristwatch from the 1970s. Inside is a complex set of gears that allow the tension of a wound mainspring to escape in tiny intervals, which is geared up or down, and the whole thing is lubricated by tiny jewels. It's insane, very complex and very cool. And the only thing that it does is tell you the time. The 296 does that watch thing. There's so much going on in the background, but you don't know. From in here, it's just Ferrari. It's just pure sports car experience. It's unbelievable. Everything works together so perfectly. I've got all these different modes if I want them. I can go right down into e-drive only mode, up to 136 kilometers an hour on the highway, full EV. Listen to this. I'm driving an EV Ferrari right now. And then if I want, I click it over into hybrid mode where it switches how it sees fit. Still charging the battery. Race mode, way more power. Engine is always on, and it charges the battery a little bit when needed under braking and that sort of thing. And then my favorite, there is a qualifying mode. You click that on like an F1 driver. And a qualifying hot lap. It just deploys. And it is shockingly, stinkingly, disgustingly fast. This car is as fast, it feels as fast as any car I've ever driven. And it delivers the power so seamlessly. And that V6, it's actually the best news. It's brilliant, it's wonderful. It revs high, it feels like a Ferrari, and it sounds unbelievable. It barks, and it shouts, and it screams. The Ferrari F8 Tributo I found to be a little bit dull. It was a little bit boring sounding. This isn't. This sounds excellent, and the transmission is so fast. But seriously, this car is so quick. Just don't turn the traction control off. It would be seriously dumb. It's constantly flickering at me. And what I love about this is that Ferrari probably had to do this. They probably had to make a hybrid for emissions and laws and rules and the future and technology and whatever. And so what they did was, instead of just begrudgingly making one, they made one. They're like, let's do this properly. All the technology and engineering they put into that engine, like I was talking about before, is insane. It's light. The whole car is light. Everything feels so performance focused. 818 horsepower. They said, screw it. We might as well make it hyper fast. And they did. And it's a bit scary, especially on these roads. This car is a representation of what may yet trickle down to us in the future in more affordable sports cars. It's proof. It's living proof that hybrid battery-laden cars can be light and fast and pure and exciting. But it's not all good.
Okay, the last crime. Is it overpriced? Well, it's not off to a very good start, to be honest, because for this entry-level little V6 Ferrari, you can get one of these, a 4-litre flat-six Cayman GTS. And you can get a Lotus Emira. And a Corvette Z06. Yeah. And a Range Rover. And a GR Corolla. And a nice holiday in France with caviar and rosé being served by Jean-Francois or Philippe André. So, yeah, it's expensive. But what is money, you know? It's only the value we give it, and this has been given a value aspect of $444,000 US. That is an absolute fortune. And I will say, Thomas has shown us that the overcomplicated part isn't just for the sake of being overcomplicated. It works. It's light. It's crazy fast. Sounds brilliant as well. But for that money, you can get crazy fast and sounding good cars. The Corvette Z06 just came and showed us that. For the extra money, what is the Ferrari magic? Where is it? Why are you spending that? Why are you not getting a Cayman GT4? Why are you not getting a Porsche? Why does a Porsche become the poor man's Ferrari? What's that missing piece? It's the chassis, and this has it in droves. What a stunning, stunning drive. We said the F8 drove pretty. It was your dance partner. And this just becomes the exact same thing. Just coming around these canyons, there's so much communication coming through the car. There isn't as much communication, I'll say, coming through the steering though. It's very numb. I was just in an Audi S8 that waited up. better around the corners, and that's